What is up, my fellow educators? My name is Andrew Haheim, and I have been a public high school science teacher in an amazing Twin Cities school district for the last 10 years. Now, our students, just like yours, have a lot of different stories and bring in such a variety of different experiences representing their rings of culture in so many amazing ways that it is crucial that as they are learning to culture switch in our classrooms every day, their home cultures are being validated in a room that hopefully also has a pretty awesome vibe. So today, I want to show you how to bring attention signals into your room in an effective and culturally responsive way. I know that I'm a white dude from the Midwest. I am no expert on culture because my culture has been the dominant and traditional culture almost my entire life. I am always learning new things about the cultures around me. But that's because this is for everybody. This is about vabbing your students. This is about being culturally responsive. This is about creating a great vibe in your classroom. If I can do it, you can do it too. First, what are attention signals? Let's start with a definition.
An attention signal is an agreed upon verbal or nonverbal cue used to bring students back to focus when they are engaged. In the culturally responsive classroom, it's a social cue to culture switch, which builds and bridges to life skills and validates culture.
Properly used attention signals increase engagement and offer a positive layer to classroom management. Plus, they're a great way to connect with your students, build a community in your room, and create a great classroom vibe. Now, before we start, I want to just let everybody know that in order to get these right, you need to be ready to experience discomfort. All right, that's fine. Let's go. There's 3 ways to do it, and you want to be able to do all 3. First up, traditional. If you're using attention signals in a traditional way, then there's no real opportunity for the students to engage or give you any kind of feedback. In addition, if the students are being non-compliant, that might result in the teacher giving them the look, or essentially saying, what you're doing right now is not what I want you to be doing right now. Here are a few examples. A lot of teachers just do something like this. Hey, eyes and ears up here. And honestly, how well does that even work? Like, how many hours of instructional time have been lost with teachers just saying things loudly to their classroom and waiting for the classroom to respond? There's a better way. Maybe you use the old countdown. All right, folks, I need you quiet in 5, 4. Maybe your students know the nonverbal cue when you turn off the lights. Maybe your students know what to do when you turn the music down. Next, responsive attention signals. Responsive attention signals are going to utilize more student engagement and student feedback, but they're not connected to any one ring of culture. They have no deeper meaning, and they're not rooted in any cultural elements. Best example of this, classic call and response. Hey, yo, when I say listen, you say up. Listen, listen. When I say time to, you say move on. Time to, time to. Students are great at coming up with goofy ones for this. Like, when I say neato, you say burrito. Neato. Burrito. These are also great for showing love and appreciation. Like, after a student gives an answer, maybe give them a couple snaps. Maybe a drum roll. Or you can just say, 3 claps for Sam. 1, 2, 3. And finally, culturally responsive. Culturally responsive attention signals are going to be rooted in something with more meaning. Something like music, rhythm, history, slang, youth culture, geographical culture, and so much more. This is where it really gets going. This is where the vibe is just out of control. It's amazing. There are lots of these. You could do a responsive attention signal like this, or you could do a culturally responsive attention signal like this Kasa rhythm from a West African harvest dance. You could connect these to youth culture by asking the kids about their favorite song lyrics. Raindrop! Drop! I'm gonna take my horse down to Old Town Road. You could teach them about your own culture, referencing music from your childhood. Hotel, motel, Holiday Inn. Whoop! There it is. Here's my personal favorite because it requires no instruction. Everybody clap your hands. Here's a way to show love for a student response that's connected to geographical culture, because I'm from Minnesota. It's called the state bird. It's about a mosquito. It's a mosquito flying around. Meh, meh. Then you look at the kid.
Kill it.
So clearly, using a combination of traditional, responsive, and culturally responsive attention signals strategically and consistently in your classroom is going to take a little bit of work. But don't worry. Here are some tips and tricks to help you on your journey to responsiveness as you amp up your use of attention signals in your classroom. There are a few different ways that you can use attention signals in your classroom consistently and strategically for maximum results. Clarification or further instruction, transitions, terminations, and showing praise or love to your students. Be ready to experience discomfort. And I get it. Maybe call and response isn't your thing. Maybe it's out of your comfort zone. And that's okay. Being out of your comfort zone is okay. You need to be willing to experience discomfort the same way our students experience discomfort every single time we ask them to culture switch and build and bridge to traditional school culture. Besides, it's not going to kill you. You're going to be fine. Teach your students your expectations with attention signals. Practice them and be patient. It might take your students a little bit of time to learn what your expectations are for a given attention signal. Every teacher knows that nothing works right away in education, and it's likely going to be this way for you too. And that's okay. Remember, the goal is not instant silence, but a moment of transition that's going to take maybe 3 to 5 seconds. Practice with your students and be persistent. Switch it up often. Variety fights boredom, and it's the spice of life. You should be developing the use of different attention signals for different purposes in your classroom anyway. Get students to help you create them. Ask them what they would like to do. Heck, if you're feeling a little discomfort that day, maybe get a student to help you run the attention signal. Grab one of your all-star students that carries a lot of social capital in the room and get them to do it for you. Keep it authentic and sell it. This is so important for your students. Just use your personality and your vibe to make it work for your students in your classroom. That's when the students are going to buy in. These are not for student conduct, by the way. It's about spontaneity and communalism and validating cultural elements. It's a tool that can be used for so much more than quieting kids down. You also don't want to insert a random attention signal like a call and response into the middle of your lesson for no purpose. I mean, you can imagine the looks on the students' faces if the teacher's just all of a sudden going to stop their lesson and go, "When I say space, you say race. Space."
Race.
You also want to make sure you're using attention signals when students are engaged. There is no reason to use a call and response for a room that is working quietly and independently. Again, the kids are just going to look at you weird if the room is completely silent and then you say, "When I say listen, you say, oh." I'm a secondary science teacher. I am always terrified when I throw out a call and response that I'm not going to get anything back. But you know what? My students surprise me. And I think they're going to surprise you too. So have fun playing around with attention signals in your classroom. Check out the Center for Culturally Responsive Teaching and Learning if you have any more questions. And keep changing the world.